So you want to talk about Among Us?
You want to say that again so I can like be looking at you? I was like putting my phone down. It was awkward.
That's going in. This is going in.
Oh, it is?
Yep, that's the intro. So you wanted to talk about Among Us?
Yes, first sentence, yes.
Whoa. Your word is among?
What?
I did it like a spelling bee, bitch.
Among. A-M-O-N-G. Among.
He didn't even need me to put it in a sentence.
Can you put it in a sentence, please? I want to play Among Us. Okay. I feel like this is flopping as an intro.
I think it's great. It's exactly what I wanted.
And now I look like a jerk. Okay. No, but yeah.
You're just showing your true colors.
Yeah, I guess I wanted to talk about Among Us because it's hitting the gaming community and the streaming community super hard right now. Still, maybe less than some. I haven't actually followed it.
No. From what I know, I've looked and it's
strong.
still going strong.
And I just think it's interesting because it seems like people that don't even play, like non-gamers are playing, gamers are playing.
It's got that like party game to it, so it's very friendly to a lot of people. But kind of weird that it's lasted so long. Just because, I mean, I feel like people who play a lot of video games, like me and you talked about, we played Among Us, but it's like, yeah, we kind of know it's a shitty game, and that like they haven't really done a whole lot with it for a long time, and it was.
I mean, it's fun. It's like most party. I mean, well, some party games you can't. Excuse me. Some party games you can't play with anybody else. I mean, by yourself. So I meant to say. So it's a lot more fun with other people. Essential to play with other people, for that matter.
Yeah. I've definitely tried playing it by myself, but like the lack of just being able to yell at people, and just say, "No, you're the imposter." It's just like it's not fun anymore.
I think the appeal to it is the arguing.
Absolutely.
Like in my mind, it would work well as a board game, and in my mind, it would work well as just a game you play when other people are around. Like it doesn't have to be like a card game. I mean, I don't know how it would work, but I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is the reason that Among Us is good is not because it's a game. It's good.
No, yeah.
It's good. The people just like that.
The party side of party game is definitely the part that it's made it so popular.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily, like the structure of the game is like, I guess part of like the party part, like you said, like people like just arguing. Like that aspect is what makes the game.
I think what people think is interesting is just the thinking. It's the mind game part. It's the it's like a puzzle
to me.
Yeah, it's like a puzzle.
Yeah.
And it's a social thing. And I think another big reason that it's so popular is because there's this culture of like isolation right now with this thing that's going on currently in our communities. Everybody's home a lot. Everybody misses interaction with people, and I think just about anybody would say, you know, that there has been something lost there, and so that interaction with people and having these kind of deep conversations where you're trying to like figure something out, I think people are enjoying that. I'm not sure it would be as successful without that.
No, I doubt it, because like we said, it's more friendly to people who don't play a whole lot of video games. So those people who would normally be out doing things are now stuck at home. They got to do something with their friends, so they play Among Us because it's fun. It's a party game. It's more social than a lot of games. So yeah, I definitely do think that the being isolated and being at home all the time definitely added to their player bases, which makes me think that like maybe their success is a little overrated. Into the fact like they're gonna make another game. I think they said they're gonna make another Among Us, or like an updated version or something.
Yes, they said.
And like, will that be really that great? Because like I don't know when this will end, but when it does end and people don't have to be at home anymore, will that really? Will that really do anything?
I think the Steam will be gone.
Yeah, like so they better get that game out fast.
Yeah,
that's what
really.
Basically.
I mean, I really don't know, man. I mean, honestly, I've been surprised at how long it's lasted already. That I'm not sure. Maybe it has more like what is it? Lasting appeal? Is that the phrase? Maybe it has more lasting appeal than I thought it did. Because I've honestly, I mean, I'm kind of out of it now. I'm playing other things. Maybe that's because we
didn't we play it for like a couple weeks though.
We
I
did.
mean, it was like a couple weeks and it lost its fire.
Yeah, and I streamed it some, but really a lot of it, the time it was because people love it so much and they wanted to play. And it's
the stream
fun
was
just
also
throwing
like a
at
social
people.
thing at that point.
Yeah.
Like with Among Us.
Well,
because
that's
of the-
the reason it got popular was because of streamers. There were some big streamers that started playing it. The game had already been out like a year or two or something like that. And
then it was like
Couple big
vultures going to the
streamers,
dead
yeah.
meat. Like every streamer was just like,
Yeah.
oh, this game is getting hype. We got to go.
yeah, because it's easy to get people to join in too. Like stream, your
Yeah, you
audience
play
can
with
play.
other streamers too,
Yeah.
and you add popularity
Even
to the other people.
what's her name? AOC. Even she played Among Us on stream.
POC?
Yeah,
don't even know who that
Cortez
is.
politician. Like the
I didn't
woman.
even know that.
Oh yeah, she played
Really?
Among Us. Yeah, she actually plays League too, I think. But she started playing the game, and yeah, got like a whole bunch of people to watch and stuff.
Would you say it's like a? I mean, would it be a diehard fandom at this point though?
I maybe.
You get, like we said, because of the isolation thing. I'm sure they hope they have like a diehard, because I mean right now it looks like it, but when people are actually allowed to leave their houses, who
Yeah.
knows how much that will last.
Yeah, I mean maybe. Like I said, I mean it's still surprising me, honestly, at how popular.
Maybe
it's
maybe
been.
it'll be like Smash, where it's like it's a party game where like literally anyone will pick it up. But it also has a diehard fandom in
Yeah.
it, because
Yeah.
Smash. There's like two sides to Smash where like I'm not really into the games, but like
Yeah.
I'll play them and have a
Like-
lot of fun playing with friends. Like we played the other day, and like I had fun getting my ass kicked, but I didn't. I mean, it wasn't because I'm all into the game. It was more the party aspect of that game.
Smash is diehard, man. I mean, but yeah, that's a good point. It is kind of, it's like a party game in the way that anybody can pick it up and play it. But the like the barrier of entry is low, but the skill ceiling is crazy high.
Yeah, I've watched like some like professional Smash stuff,
Yeah.
and it's crazy.
And there are people that still play Melee in tournaments, which Melee came out in the
Which
game
is like
2001.
I'm pretty sure it's like still
something
considered
that.
like the best Smash game by like the diehard community more
and
so.
I personally feel like the reason people like it so much, the diehard community anyway, is because Melee was faster than pretty much any other
the
Smash
new one
game that's come out.
Smash Ultimate feels very slow and like I don't want to say clunky because the animations are smooth and everything.
Yeah.
It's not like everything feels weird, but everything feels very heavy.
Yeah.
Like when you're like grabbing someone to throw, you feel weight to
It's
it.
not- it's
and Melee was like floaty.
Yeah.
Like you were super fast. Like Fox
fast,
was
yeah.
Fox and Falcon were both super fast.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think the timing and everything is different, but like the skill of Melee and being able to track those people, oh my gosh.
And
like,
there's a lot of like crazy kind of glitches that have been banned and stuff by the community, but like it's just so fast that like I think that's why the diehards like it so much. And I don't think the new one's not as slow as Brawl, I don't think, but
I didn't
definitely
even play
slower.
Brawl, I don't think.
It was the Wii one. I mean, it's probably my least
I think
favorite.
most people played Melee still when Brawl came out. Like,
Probably, which surprises me because everybody has a Wii.
Yeah, right.
Like who doesn't have a Wii? My grandpa's has a Wii. That's not true. Actually, he barely has a smartphone. But that was just a saying. Sorry, I'm awkward. Like,
Grandpa has a Wii.
yeah,
He doesn't
everybody.
have a Wii.
No, he doesn't. He does not have one. But no, I mean, it's a party game in the way that like somebody comes over and like pretty much everybody at least has experienced Smash in some way. Everybody knows what it is. It was huge. It's always been huge.
Also, even people who don't play video games. 'Cause
Right.
I had plenty of friends in like high school who never played video games, but like they love Smash. And it was
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah, and maybe not. It's maybe not as
not as social as Among Us for sure.
No, it's not. But I mean, it's not as I'm trying to think the word for it, like easy to get in, like easy to start.
Yeah,
What's the
yeah,
word?
yeah.
Whatever the word is, I can't think.
There's still a little bit of a learning curve
Right.
when you first get into the game.
Yeah.
Where it's like Among Us is like,
Yeah, easy.
do you like you just move your character around and click on things the whole time?
Yeah.
Whether you're on your phone, computer, whatever, like you just
Yeah.
it's really easy. Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
Which is another appeal, by the way, to Among Us is the phone. Like
oh
being
yeah,
able-
that's a good point. You can play it on your phone or
you go over to a friend's house and still play. You don't have to bring your computer.
and
or
it's
anything.
free.
And it's free.
It's free. There's a couple cosmetics you can buy, which we talked enough about. But I mean, the barrier of entry of Smash is a little bit higher than something like say Mario Kart. Which I feel like also has a super dedicated fan base. Like it's like every single Nintendo console has to have a Mario Kart.
Yeah.
like it does. Like,
And I honestly, I gotta be honest, I don't get it. I don't get it because Mario Kart's fun for me for a little while, but then I'm just like, all right.
I think it's very similar to Among Us because like people buy. I know multiple people that have bought a Switch and Mario Kart that was bundled with, like, I know that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is a remake of the Wii U version, by the way. They've remade every single Wii U game that was ever good.
They've like, under the table been like, the Wii U doesn't count. Here, take the game.
Because seven people bought the Wii U.
Yeah, I remember watching Wii U games and being like, that's kind of cool. And then I would go on to something else because it was just like, it's like, okay.
I think this isn't even on our list of topics, but I think Wii U kind of struggled because everybody was just like, oh, what is it? Just like an updated Wii? Is it like the Xbox One Slim?
It wasn't clear.
Like, and it was a completely different thing.
By the way, is what's happening with the Xbox X right now. Series X? Is it? X. I don't even know, and I keep up with this shit. Yeah. Series X.
Series X, yeah. And sometimes I'll call it, on accident, the Xbox One Series X. And it's not one. It's not the one. Oh, my goodness.
Dumbasses. Why? That's not a part of our topic, any of our topics, but holy shit.
Someone explain to us.
Why? Why did we go to Xbox 360? Why did we have Xbox 360, Xbox One, then now whatever the hell we're doing? Series X.
Yeah.
What is going on?
I mean, the fact that
I don't know where I'm at.
On release day or pre-order day or whatever of the Series X and Series S, like, purchases for the Xbox One X and Xbox One S went up significantly.
Because people think they're buying the other console.
People didn't know the difference.
Do we just want to talk about this?
Sure. Yeah, let's just talk about it. I mean, we'll go back to the other stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about that later. I mean, we're already into this. You've gotten me emotional now.
I know.
Because I was a huge Xbox fan, but they keep doing stupid shit, and I can't justify being a fan of them anymore.
I know.
Like, it's so hard. Like, I have no desire for these next consoles. Like, I don't see a reason.
I kind of want a PlayStation. Just saying.
If if you can actually.
Are you talking about Xbox?
Yeah, no, I'm talking about. I do want a PlayStation. I want to play. Okay. Sorry, I want a PlayStation 5 bad because I think they're gonna have a lot of exclusives. Make it worth it.
Yeah.
Plus, I know it's a new freaking system. Okay?
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, but people are complaining that there's no new exclusives on the Xbox.
Xbox Series X. The only exclusive they're going to come out with that I even care about might even come on PC. I think we talked about it. Halo might go on PC.
Yeah,
right?
it's going to be on PC.
Then I maybe
not. Maybe not on release day.
Then I don't care. I'll be patient.
Yeah,
I will wait.
For me, if I know that Xbox bought Bethesda, Microsoft bought Bethesda, so I don't know if they'll make Fallout games Xbox exclusive or if they'll also put them on PC. If they put them on PC, then I'll buy them on PC.
Well, also there's the new Elder Scrolls game that they did like a teaser for, which I hope they put on PC because I just prefer to play on PC.
Yeah,
for most games, but
yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I mean,
we could talk more about some Bethesda here. Bethesda fans are diehard, and I will say, back when Skyrim first released, it was cream of the crop for open world RPG, in my opinion. Okay, now everybody joked and everybody knew about the Bethesda bugs. You know that the game's fault. You know, there's glitchy and horrible, and everybody.
I don't think you can have a Bethesda game without it.
Right, but
it's almost like character. Like part of their character now as a company, like for making games, because like I remember seeing people like making videos who like make videos specifically on Skyrim when it was a big game.
Yeah,
and it was always about the glitches, and everybody thought it was hilarious.
Yeah,
it wasn't like they were mad at it. It was like, this glitches, ha. It's like, wow, something that like if you were to take another game and do that, like they would be like, this is a piece of shit. I don't want to play this.
Well, that's kind of what's happening to them now. Like Bethesda fans are. Bethesda fans, you know, and I wouldn't consider myself like a diehard Bethesda fan. I like Bethesda games, but I mean, the number of times I've bought Skyrim.
How many times have you bought Skyrim? You have to be honest. I'll be honest. I'll tell how many times I bought it because I know yours is more. 3.
Okay, I've bought it,
and I don't even have it on my PC, so probably 4 if I buy it again.
5 times, I think, maybe 6. I bought it for myself and my brother when
always full price, or did you wait for sales? Sometimes
always full price. Okay, listen. So I bought 6 times. I mean the
that's funny.
Oh, I'll get to it, but I bought Skyrim for myself and my brother when it first came out, like 2011, whenever that was, Then the HD version came out on PlayStation 4. It was cheaper, I believe, like $40 or something.
Is that the remastered or is that different?
Remastered, yeah.
Okay.
Bought it twice,
I
once
remember
for
when the
myself
remastered
and
came
once for Hannah. And then I bought the VR version, which
I've played a little bit
it's fun.
of your VR
It's
version,
good.
and it's pretty good.
But back to the topic of it being Bethesda being overhyped.
Die Hard.
Used to be, yeah, right. They're not overhyped at all. They're literally.
I was about to say, there's no overhype because
no
Bethesda games usually are pretty good, even with the bugs and stuff. Even as not a diehard Bethesda fan, I will say they're not overhyped. They are fun.
They do have their diehard fans that people
They do.
And Fallout's another example.
I watched the event for when they put the teaser out for the new Elder Scrolls game, and the crowd literally went nuts. It was like almost like that's why they were there. Like they were waiting for
they
that.
Probably were. It's because Bethesda fans go to E3 every year waiting for Elder Scrolls.
Please.
But I mean, Fallout too. Like Fallout has their like really dedicated fans too. I mean,
like those people who won't admit that 76 is bad.
Right. That's yeah. That's kind of what I was getting at. Like the reviewers and stuff all said that this game's awful, but Bethesda fans are like, no. This is what I wanted. Everybody wants multiplayer Fallout. You know, that like super single player driven experience. Everybody wants that.
Which I'll give it to him. That sounds great. Sounds awesome. It does. Know. It sounds awesome to me. If I could play those games in multiplayer like me and you do it like a co-op thing.
Yeah.
I don't know the way
it is cool, but the way they executed
it, some of the things I'm like, why is it made this way? I think it'd be better if it was less like, because if I'm not mistaken, like everybody's in the world at the same time and it's like random lobbies, right? Is it like a server of people?
Yes.
And then like you have to keep going back to that server with your save? Or can you take your character to other servers?
You hop to different servers every time you log in, basically.
Ah, gotcha.
So it's not consistently the same people.
So it's almost like I don't want to say this, but like MMO, like you hop in the server.
Yeah, it's just like an instance. Well, no, it's MMO. Usually you pick a server, but the servers are usually massive.
Yeah.
Know? Like
how big were the servers?
For this game?
Yep.
I don't actually know, but I know that like it wouldn't be possible to like, without being friends with somebody, consistently play with people that you weren't friends with, that you couldn't like invite to your party or whatever.
Well,
it's not like there's not like a clan system.
Yeah, it feels more like a co-op. Like my favorite games, Borderlands.
Yeah.
Like I feel like for me, I would enjoy Fallout way more if it was like that, where I just invite you, we play through the game together.
Yeah.
Less like that many people in the game, because I don't know what they had interactions with. Like what do the random people have to do with me being in the game?
Nothing.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. See, then it doesn't.
You can be doing a quest, and
it just adds mess. I feel like
there's specific areas that you can go into that don't allow random people. But you can be like, if you're out in the overworld and you could be killing like a monster, or maybe there's a public event or something, and somebody just runs up and helps you or whatever. It's weird. It's kind of in the way that Destiny handles like being on the planet, like doing public events and patrols
weird,
and stuff.
Though.
Yeah,
that's kind of weird.
The thing about Fallout is that it's a very story-driven and quest-driven experience. Okay,
story-driven,
and it's very like
game.
It's very character-based. Lots of characters, and you're learning about their backstories and stuff like that. So the fact that they decided that they weren't going to put any NPCs in it whatsoever at the beginning, because they were like, it's only other people. That was their focus.
Man, I missed
in
some
my
of this
head,
stuff. I just knew that it was bad. I never tried it. I remember.
Well, they added NPCs like a few months ago with an update, but it's just in specific areas. It's
but like a few months ago from now, or a few months from release.
A few months ago from now, like probably.
The game's been out, but for how long?
Probably since
over a year.
Yeah. Took them all. They thought that was cool. They did the announcement. I think it was an E3 announcement actually.
Hey, NPC.
There would be like, everybody you can see are real people. I don't remember the exact wording, but it was something like that in E3, and it was just like crickets. I don't know if it was that bad, but like the thing about Fallout is that it's very like character driven. They took them all out and to replace it with this multiplayer, which was just flawed, and yet diehard fans still ate it up.
Like
and I was sitting there like
your wife,
like my wife,
who loves it and will fight you till the day she dies about it.
Yeah, I've gotten her. She sees some of the problems.
Yeah, but seeing the problems and still being like, this is a wonderful game. I want to keep playing it, doesn't teach the I don't want to sound like we're the parents and the developers are the kids, but like you got to teach them a lesson. Like you make a shitty game, I'm not gonna play
How many
it.
times I have to teach you this lesson, old man? Like, yeah, but
How long?
I feel like
until
people will be.
stop?
Yeah, yeah,
Until the fans say we've had enough.
yeah. Probably never.
Probably.
It's like Call of Duty. Okay. Every year, new Call of Duty game. They've decided to. I mean, like a couple years ago, they didn't even bother with a campaign. I don't know, man. It's just like everybody eats up the COD.
For anybody who's gonna say that COD is doing well right now, it's because they're using an old game. Modern Warfare is an old game that they remastered and then put in, and now people are like, "This is great." It's like,
Well,
because it's old.
I thought Modern Warfare had a new campaign because they released the Modern Warfare remastered, but then
was it a new campaign?
I think, but they used the same name.
Why did they use the same name? Now I'm confused.
I don't know. There was Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare.
Well, I know the only reason
Modern
people
Warfare
still
2.
play it is because of
Yes.
Warzone.
Oh yeah, Battle Royales.
Can we talk about that? Overhyped battle royales are overhyped for me.
Absolutely.
Oh my
Go
gosh.
Go there.
Yeah, battle royales.
Fortnite.
It's such a trend to me, but like, no matter what battle royale comes out, it's like everybody's like, you gotta play it.
Yeah.
It's the new
What
one.
was the one
And you know
before
why?
it?
Is because they all die, and then the next one has to take over.
Yeah.
So like,
what was the one from?
well,
Apex is what I was thinking about. Apex,
which apparently still has some of a following. But
yeah,
like,
I think so. But I mean, it's just the battle royale thing. I've just never been into it.
I was at first, and I honestly do get it somewhat, but I don't from an like the replayability standpoint. For most part, me personally, I don't like playing a game just to play a game. I like goals. I like getting legendary weapons.
Yeah.
And I like trying to get exotics, doing quests for something.
Yeah,
But
not just
no,
straight cosmetics.
Instead, sometimes you don't even play for cosmetics. If you don't buy the season passes, you can't get anything. So like you're just playing because Fortnite.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I don't really care about being number one out of 100 people.
yeah.
What
What do I get? What do I get? A hat?
Yeah, it's like not even.
Yeah,
like
right.
you just get to see a flashy thing come up on your screen.
Yeah.
Which it all started. I mean, I don't know what was before it, but I know like DayZ kind of did it. But I know Hunger Games on Minecraft was like huge.
Yeah, I don't
like
know
it was
much
right
about
after right after the Minecraft movies, right after the Hunger Games movies came out. They did. I remember Minecraft doing this. This was when I actually played Minecraft a lot. But they did a Hunger Games and it was really fun. And then like it slowly like started creeping up that other games were just like making a full-fledged game about it.
I think Fortnite really popularized the battle royale though, because I mean,
oh no, for sure. But people thought Players Unknown did, but then Fortnite came and then blew it all out of the water.
oh yeah,
Players Unknown was huge.
PUBG was first, wasn't it?
It was huge too.
I forgot
H1Z1
about that.
was a little popular,
I forgot PUBG
right?
was first.
H1Z1 was kind of popular.
Yeah.
PUBG comes out, blows it out of the water,
Yeah.
and then now Fortnite blew that out of the water.
Yeah, because I don't hear anybody talking about PUBG anymore.
No.
Like hardly any. I mean, I'm sure there's still some players.
Actually, I
but
looked it up.
It doesn't still get talked about like
watched
Fortnite does.
I watched a video. Apparently, like it still has a huge player basis.
Really?
But 99% of it is in China.
Really?
Yep.
What the heck?
Isn't that weird? I thought that was kind of weird. I was like, wow.
That's dedicated.
That's very dedicated.
Fortnite's super dedicated too, but
I feel like battle royales in general have like a
really
like
dedicated
a hardcore
fan base.
It doesn't
It's
even have to be
just
specifically one.
It's so like, what's the word? Like, it's like what's the word? Like kitschy right now? Like
Catchy?
no,
Like a trend?
yeah,
Like a trend.
yeah,
It's a trend right now.
yeah. I think I said a word that exists. Does
Yeah.
that word exist? I think it's
I like-
a word.
I like how intimate we go with
I know.
our microphones.
I'm exposing myself with that.
But anyways, I think battle
It's
royales in
trendy.
general have a diehard fandom. I think battle royale is like a fandom. Like where some games like COD has their whole like their player base is diehard just about COD.
Yeah.
I feel like there are people who are just battle royale fans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and I think kind of like Among Us, they were talking about earlier. Obviously, Fortnite is like a game, but it brought in a lot of new gamers.
It did.
I meant like in contrast
No,
with
no,
Among
like,
Us.
you're talking about-
Among Us
yeah.
wasn't like
You're talking about like people who also don't play games.
Yeah.
Like people I know who would not play very many games and yet they loved Fortnite.
right.
I
like
didn't.
yeah. Like a lot of people.
And it's weird, and that might be why I'm not trying to call people who play battle royales not gamers, but like that might be why we don't understand playing it anymore. Is because like we want a little more satisfaction out of a game rather than a shiny banner coming on my screen and going, "Hey!"
And we kind of see, we as gamers kind of see how like predatory that.
Oh yeah!
Like, the game is free, but we're gonna put this...
like we talked about in the last podcast. Like it was all just cosmetic stuff. That's all you do is cosmetics or play the game to play the game.
Yeah, yeah.
And that can be like, it's just a slippery slope. Like we talked about buying cosmetics, and then you're stuck with like $500 of cosmetics in a game that you're not cool unless you keep playing and keep getting more cosmetics, which is more money. So
yeah. So it's just constant drawing you back in with that like FOMO. But.
Would you call like in regards to diehard fandoms though? I think we talked about it a little bit, but like I would say WoW is, but you kind of thought like maybe MMOs you wouldn't consider them diehards. Because in my opinion, if you play a game for 15 years straight, you have to be pretty diehard.
Yeah. I mean, I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
I literally can't. But I mean, you could say the same thing about like, it's not a continuing game, but there's people that still speedrun like Super Mario Bros. Like,
I would call them a fan.
They just got like the world record. I don't know, 6 months ago or something.
I feel like that's its own diehard fandom is like speedrunning.
So taking out speedrunning, we'll do that. That's fair. So taking out speedrunning. Yeah, I mean, I guess I have to say WoW's that's what they're going for. They want people to keep playing forever. You have to. Because it's an MMO. They have to have... We talked about that in the last podcast. You have to stay
committed, too.
Yeah.
Because in MMOs, you get behind way too fast. So you have to... You basically, you either be a diehard like player or you get behind.
Yeah.
That's basically how it... I mean, you can't honestly casually play World of Warcraft and be caught up with everybody, if that makes sense. Like you can't do that. You'll be behind in like looting, the raids that come out, because there's always content coming out, and like if you casually just come back and play, which by the way I haven't played a whole lot of WoW, like none, because it's too daunting, but I watch the game and I like watching streamers and I love the lore of the game, but like I couldn't see anyone casually playing and being able to keep up, and like anyone wanting to keep you in their guild. Because you're not a productive... Yeah, so people get really serious about guilds.
I have been kicked out of a guild for not playing long. Like I didn't play for a few months. You have to be like kicked out.
You have to like help. That's like they want you to help. If you don't, you're out.
It's the same with some clans in Destiny, which...
Yeah, you have to be a consistent player.
Yeah, I was actually surprised at the amount of time that I was not playing the game that I wasn't kicked from my clan.
Yeah, I know. Because they seem like such a productive and like...
They
constantly working.
Yeah, so I mean like... Yeah, I guess I don't know. In my head, I just don't categorize MMOs as diehard in the same way that I do others, just because of the fact that that's kind of like the point of it. Mm-hmm. It's the point of it is just continuous play.
I would definitely agree, but I would consider it a diehard. But I would definitely agree that is the point. Like you have to, which is why I think those are some of the most like in-depth lore games of all time, is because they have to hook you in.
They develop it over years,
right? And they also have to hook you in to be like, this is worth the time commitment. Yeah, like this is worth it. So,
which I mean,
which makes you wonder why COD has a diehard fandom, because like they work like nothing.
I mean, we're not downplaying like the developers'
but
time or anything, but like if you make a game in a year, like I mean, I don't know
how much effort could you have really put into it,
and like maybe I personally feel like WoW specifically is like a diehard fandom, but like I wouldn't necessarily say that about like all MMOs, but. Wow, I mean, 15 years, you can't argue with the fact that a 15-year-old game that still has a ton of players is pretty diehard. So
yeah. In the posting a game every year, we talked about this before, but Assassin's Creed. I'm honestly, I don't know how much of a diehard fandom there is, but there has to be if they're still making games.
Yeah, I know.
Like if they're still making games, which by the way, if anybody thinks after like the Ezio storyline that they're good,
I have to.
We will have to disagree.
I like scrunch my eyebrows a little. Like,
Yeah, it's
I mean,
like
people said that Black Flag was good. Like, okay. Like, Odyssey, I heard was okay.
I feel like it was a flashy game and it was different. Like it was a different way of playing.
It was different.
It was a different way to play Assassin's Creed. So everybody's like, it's good.
Yeah.
It's like no, it's different and kind of weird. If you're looking at it from like an Assassin's Creed perspective,
right?
After being used to 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Is it 4? Like how many, what was Ezio's?
It really wasn't. There was Assassin's Creed 2, and then there was, I believe, 2 spin-offs for.
Right, it was Brotherhood, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Uh-huh.
There was one before Brotherhood, right?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think Brotherhood was the last one.
Was Revelations?
No, that was the last one. It's Brotherhood, then Revelations.
Okay, well, whatever.
Revelations is when he's there was
the Ezio trilogy, Assassin's Creed 2, and then the 2 spin-offs, whatever their names were. So those were excellent.
Yeah.
And I think we could get into a whole topic about Assassin's Creed specifically because I feel like a lot of the reason that I'm less interested in is because they've veered away from the like assassin-y aspects. Black Flag, the big thing was like, oh, we're on pirate ships now. That's not very assassin-y. Like I like the sneaking and the listening.
Yeah, when you lose the core aspect of the game is when.
Well, that's a whole nother thing. But like, yeah, obviously there are Assassin's Creed people.
You have to. There's no way they wouldn't keep making games.
Yeah, every single year they come out with new ones, and they seem to sell pretty well.
Which I'm just going to throw this in there. I know we can talk about this later. After we can play it a little bit too, and I can give my thoughts, but. What is the new one? Valhalla.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to get Valhalla. See how it goes.
And I want to play it with you, but man, it's just so convenient that after God of War got so many good reviews and stuff, and literally everybody loves it, and it has so many core things that are like it. I'm like,
yeah. What? I don't disagree with you.
It's just convenient. Yeah, that's all I'll say. It's convenient.
I mean. I guess there's nothing really wrong with like piggybacking on something that's popular, but just don't be shameless about it. So I'm gonna have to see the game to really realize if it's, you know what I mean.
I know, but also if they take
just a rip off,
it's just. But if they take all that good stuff too, and it's just a shitty game, then I'm also gonna be upset because it's like you took all these good things that these people used and made a good game, and made an actual, and then you're gonna take it and make a bad game. Yeah. Come on.
Which it's getting reviewed pretty well, but I kind of feel like Assassin's Creed games are over reviewed.
Did you watch IGN?
No.
Bad? No, you didn't. Okay. No, I don't know. IGN usually gives good reviews. We talked about that.
Yeah, I think theirs was actually high.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's probably a bad game, and yet they gave it a good review.
I know Game Informer, which I don't know how much people really value Game Informer reviews, but it was like 9.25.
I just know that IGN consistently just...
yeah, pretty...
It's like they won't give a game under an 80.
That's true.
It's like, why? Okay.
That's true.
There are a lot of games that I would consider way under an 80, but okay.
We definitely talk about that at some point. But, yeah I mean... They have to have a diehard fan base.
Yeah, they
Pokemon's another one, which up until like recently, I wouldn't have really said there was a problem being diehard because...
Which I haven't actually played, like, since this problem. I wouldn't consider myself a diehard fan. I played up till X and Y, I think they were called.
On the 3DS?
Yeah, I played up to that point, and I played the Switch Pikachu. Let's Go Pikachu.
Yeah.
And I actually really like that. I know you didn't like it as much, but I really enjoyed that one.
I mean, the problem with
but you said there was an issue with like them cutting.
Yeah, it feels like I'm a fan of Pokemon Shield. I have Shield. Mm-hmm. I think it's fun. Mm-hmm. I do like it. I don't regret buying it. But it just seems like a lazier thing. The graphics aren't great, if that is something that people care about. Performance is a little odd. They talked a lot about how they wanted there to be this open world section of the game where you kind of felt like open world Pokemon.
I just made a really weird face because that kind of sounded odd. Like,
well, that's what people were excited about. Open world Pokemon, you go anywhere, whatever, you know. But then it ended up being that there was just an open world section, and it was basically barren, like nothing there, because everybody was like, and the performance sucked there. The frame rate would like drop dramatically when you went in there. It was just like kind of like they just slapped it in. Another big thing was that
it's not like the Switch can't handle it because people play
Breath of the Wild,
which is a huge map,
and it looks
great and runs great. So
yeah,
there's no way that it's the
just
Switch's fault. It's just lazy.
It was lazy, and there was another issue with the fact that they cut out like half. There was like I think 800 Pokemon or something like that going into Sword and Shield. And then the game released with the new Pokemon included with only like 400. So they said, well, the reason we're doing this is because, you know, we want to update all the animations for every Pokemon, make everything look good, make, you know, graphics great and everything. And then it came out and the Pokemon look like slightly upscaled versions of the 3DS models.
They just
And
added a few
then-
pixels.
Yeah, and like the animations were basically the exact same, which is nothing because it was on a 3DS.
Which I talked about earlier, but like it's kind of weird to me that like that is something people look forward to in Pokemon. Like to me in my head, the last thing I care about in Pokemon is like if the animations are that much better or like the pixels on the Pokemon look that much better.
Yeah, I don't.
So why-
I
so
don't
play
personally
Pokemon.
care, but it just you can tell that
Well, yeah,
the dedicated fan base is still all about it. Like they're just like, don't hate on Pokemon.
They're praising
but
them
what
for it
I'm
still.
seeing, what I'm seeing as someone in like that's into the community, and what I think a lot of reviewers saw was that it looks like Game Freak is kind of starting a trend where it's like we don't really have to try that hard. Like we half try on this and we release it and they'll still buy it. It's
Which-
like one of the most.
dude,
It's one of the
no.
most successful games.
I don't want
on
them
the
to go
Switch.
down that road
I don't
because we
either.
talked about them, but it's like sports games.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be like that.
It literally. It's,
I
it-
don't
it
want it
seems
to be
turning
stop.
like
You're
that.
ruining it for me.
Well, no, it's
Pokemon's-
good. It's good. Still get it. It's good. I'm not saying it's not.
No,
good.
I want to get it. I'm gonna
Yeah,
get
yeah.
Sword, but like.
If they keep
But
getting
if they
worse,
keep, that's
yeah.
what I'm saying is if they keep going down this trend, I'm gonna
Yeah.
be so upset because sports games.
Yeah.
We talked about that in the last podcast, but like, speaking of diehard fandoms, they also have diehard fandoms because like why would they buy a game every year?
Yeah,
that
and
doesn't even
it's
look
like
that
you're
different.
turning. You're not. I don't know. You're not even looking at it with a critical eye. Like,
No.
how are you not realizing that you're paying for like basically no upgrade? Like, how you have to be so diehard that you don't even pay attention to the issues that something has.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to be.
Or you see them and you're just like, eh.
Yeah, I mean
It's like,
something.
okay.
I don't know what. And like we've said too, like there's games that we love that we would still play if there wasn't even as much content or.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah, Borderlands. I've been playing for so long that like I love the series so much that yeah, if they let Borderlands 4 and it was shit, I would probably still be like,
Yeah.
yes, it's good. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, they yeah.
yeah. I mean, it just seems to be what happens with this kind of stuff. I mean, people get super into a game and they really like it, and they just want more, and to the point that they love it so much that they don't even notice the problems.
Which is I also want to talk about is like that can lead to like really bad repercussions of being having such a diehard fandom can lead to like what we're talking about with Pokemon. It's a slippery slope because then when they figure out that they don't have to do so much,
Right.
Because not trying to trash all game developers, but let's be honest, if they can do less and get more, then they'll do that.
Right.
They will do less work and get the money still. And I don't want that to happen to a lot of these games. Like
Yeah.
I would hate it if it happened to Borderlands. I'm sure I would notice it and like look over it just because I love Borderlands. But like, I hate that for Pokemon because I think Pokemon's great and it's a part of like my childhood and
Right,
stuff. So
me
like
too, yeah.
to see it go down that road is very upsetting, and I think that that's very damaging to the gaming community in general. Is like when that happens, is it just doesn't help anybody.
Yeah.
Like,
Which I'm not saying like the new Pokemon game isn't worth it because it is.
Yeah, no, I
But,
know,
like,
but
what I'm
if
saying
they
is
go
like
down that
from
road.
looking at Pokemon in this particular game individually as a game on its own, it's probably a 7. But considering it's a Pokemon game, I've got all this nostalgia about it. It bumps it up for me as like a must buy.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
still good.
Right.
But I can just
But
see
then if
this
they-
trend
yeah.
if it gets worse when it's
Right,
down
that's-
to like a 4
that's
out of
what I'm
5,
saying.
4 out of 10.
If
And then
they
I'm
do
like,
that,
ugh.
I'm gonna be very
Yeah.
sad. It's gonna hurt.
Yeah, if it gets down
It's
to
gonna hurt
like
a little bit inside.
yeah, it's like
But-
I don't know how much nostalgia is. Nostalgia goggles are going to help me to
Yeah.
like this game if it's that lazy. So,
Yeah, I couldn't.
yeah. So I mean, I don't know, but I don't know. I kind of think. Do you want to talk about kind of the opposite end of the spectrum, like where a game is expected to be really good and then it ends up being kind of trash?
Yeah, we can talk about like what kind of games do you want to like No Man's Sky?
Yeah.
No Man's Sky.
I mean,
was a
like,
bad one.
I've-
I mean, that was like, come on. I mean, that was like one of the biggest. I think everybody, even non-gamers, are like, yeah, that's an overhyped game because there was so much about the game and then
Yeah.
like so much shit about the game afterwards. Like everybody was like, oh my gosh.
The developer himself, like was his name Sean, I think, Sean Murray or something like that.
Hang on. I want to look up what IGN did it while you say that.
Sean Murray overhyped it himself. Like he said all this stuff was going to be in the game and
Well,
they
of
were
course,
showing
he wanted it to sell.
Yeah, they wanted to show. They were showing all this cutscene stuff and promotional material and all this stuff, and it was all so good, and everybody was so excited for it. It looked amazing. It looked like it was going to be super fun. And the game came out, and it looks like 2 days before the game came out, he was like, "No, we can't put any of that in there," or something. 7.8 from IGN. Dang.
That's pretty high.
That's pretty high.
That's pretty daggone high for what that game actually came out with.
Which I'm not saying I didn't have fun with it, because I did. I enjoyed No Man's Sky.
But it's fun for the first little bit.
Yeah.
That's the problem with it, is there's no substance to the
realize
game. You
that
get
there
into
is.
you're just astounded by all the visuals, and then all of a sudden you find out there's no meat and potatoes to the game, and you're like, okay.
It's like the most beautiful bowl that doesn't have soup in it.
Yeah. And that makes it even more sad, because it's like, you have this beautiful world.
It looks
you
amazing.
You could have done so much good with this, and you did nothing. Like, you did nothing.
Which, I will say, something about No Man's Sky, for those that don't know, the game has continued to develop since it came out. It's been out like over 2 years now, I think. I don't know exactly when it came out. But like, there are still expansions. There was an expansion like a month ago. This is one time, okay? We talked a little bit last podcast about how games are kind of releasing not finished, okay? Like live service-y type stuff. And I think No Man's Sky is an example of that. But most of the time, instead of just working on the game and actually making it good, they just abandon it and work on a sequel.
Yep.
Okay, or work on an expansion pass that they charge you money for.
Listen, I know we talked a lot of crap about EA, but they did that with
Absolutely.
it was very overhyped. I think was Battlefront 2.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When they let that out,
that was just EA trash. That could have been great.
It could have been, and it was supposed to be, but then it was like,
well, No Man's Sky, they're still releasing stuff, and that's like one example when a developer like took a game that was not good and was like, you know what, this is my passion project. I'm going to keep working on this until it's good. And they've really like...
They should have probably waited. I bet you if I played No Man's Sky now, I'd probably like it more.
Oh, I guarantee you. There's like way more stuff, story mode and everything.
They lost me when they let out a game that doesn't keep me from the start.
That's the problem.
So if they really needed to wait, they needed to wait.
That's the problem with this kind of thing.
And I wonder if they were just impatient, or they really thought, like, this is our game.
Surely he knew that...
There's no way he couldn't,
He said there was this and that in it, and it just wasn't. Like, they just did, it wasn't ready, and so they just released it without it.
I wonder if he was like, I'm going to put this stuff in later, but
he was absolutely destroyed by the community for doing that, because they saw through it, which is good. Because it was kind of like they were a developer that hadn't really done anything else beforehand, I don't think. But
which is crazy, because like kind of going back, not going all the way back, but diehard fandoms won't do that just because there's a history behind it. But if a new game company does it,
they're like, like an indie developer, like
crap on their head, just like up.
Like an indie developer, they you look at them with a
you're
critical
in like
eye
an uphill
constantly.
battle as an indie developer for sure.
I agree. Yeah.
And building hype is that much harder, which is probably why he kind of lied. I won't say kind of. He lied about stuff that was in the game. And I also said this, but I think he might have said stuff that he's gonna put in the game, but like it's not in the game yet. But said, yeah, it's in there.
Right.
And he's like, I'll put it in there 3 months later. But it's there.
It was longer than 3 months, because I probably played it for a couple months, dude. It was...
I mean, people probably crapped on that game for a long time before he actually ended up changing anything. But
yeah, I mean, I know in my opinion, like one of the big overhyped games was Anthem, which that's one that had their developer was the why can't I think, Mass Effect series. So big time like sci-fi shooter kind of super story driven experience that everybody was really excited to see where they were going to go next. They also developed Dragon Age games.
So Anthem's different. You brought up Mass Effect. Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah. Don't talk about that one.
We'll talk about that one after.
That one was also overhyped.
As soon as you said Mass Effect, I was like, dude, Mass Effect Andromeda was supposed to be like the best game ever.
That's a good example. That wasn't one I have personal experience from. So Anthem was a big one too, because and I'm surprised that Anthem was so overhyped because of Andromeda. So like
what Mass Effect trilogy. Was Anthem?
Looter shooter.
Oh, dude, that's like right up my alley.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It sure was. Except it was a little bit different in that. Well, the problem with it was that there was no loot in a looter shooter. Basically, that was the main problem.
If you're losing part of what your game is supposed to be, that's pretty bad.
And the end game grind was terrible. But the reason that it was so overhyped was multiple reasons. One, they had developed the original 3 Mass Effect, like the Mass Effect trilogy was really popular. The third one people kind of thought wasn't that great. They did screw up Andromeda, but everybody was kind of like, okay, they messed up Andromeda, but we'll like move on from that. Let's see how we go. Anthem, like, at E3 or whatever it was announced at, the freaking like promotional material, like the art looked amazing. And the thing about Anthem specifically, the combat, was that you're basically like in an Iron Man suit flying around everywhere.
Oh, really?
So that was really cool.
I'm starting to think I know exactly what you're talking about now. Yes, I remember that game of watching the E3 stuff going on, and it looked cool. Sick.
Yeah, you're flying around, and it's like awesome.
And then I remember everybody crapping on it afterwards.
There's this like dynamic weather, thunderstorms. It looked incredible. You go into the hub world, and it's like lively, and there's people walking around and talking, and it looks incredible. It's beautiful. Well, then you find out when the game comes out or the beta launched that none of that was real. Like, doesn't look anything like that. You're in an Iron Man suit flying around the same map that looks the same pretty much everywhere. And so it was, and the loot,
because it did look like a really fun game.
The hub world was barren.
Loot.
Yeah. The hub world was barren. It was just awful. It was fun for like a little bit because the flying was actually good. Well, we can talk about that too if you want.
Have they updated it?
Well, let's talk. So the main criticisms were that there wasn't enough content. The story was kind of short. The end game was horrible. You basically could do the same 3 equivalents of what we would call a strike from Destiny. Basically do 3 strikes over and over and over.
That's a terrible end game.
Yeah, and matter of fact, the higher difficulties are actually worse to do than the lower ones because there's a big. We don't need to go to that much detail into it, but like, dude, it was awful. But they decided, on day 1 they announced there's this roadmap, guys. So they released the game and it's like a quarter finished or something. I'm not even going to get into the fact that it was in development for like 8 years. They didn't decide what type of game it was going to be until like a year and a half before it came out.
We're just making this really cool game where you fly around.
It's called Anthem. Actually, it wasn't called Anthem until okay. Look up the development history for Anthem, please. It's a crapshoot. Okay, but anyway, so they decided that they've got this roadmap, guys. We're the first month we're gonna have this, second month we're gonna have this, third month we're gonna have this. We're gonna unlock this after 4 or 5 months or whatever. It was like kind of annoying because it was like, why didn't you put this stuff in the game?
Right.
If there was a full game that you paid for and gave me a roadmap, I was like, cool, yeah, got my $60 worth, and I'm gonna get this other cool stuff too. No, it was like a $7 game, and then you showed me a roadmap over a year and a half that was like the game might be worth $60 at the end. Well, I'll tell you what, they didn't even make it a quarter of the way through the roadmap. They just abandoned it. They abandoned it, and right now, supposedly. They're working on completely revamping the entire game, and I hope they do. I really do, because it needs a complete.
I know,
overhaul.
but like No Man's Sky, does it really matter at this point?
Nobody plays it anymore.
Nobody's gonna play it though. I don't think even if they revamp it, they've lost people at the
They've
start
lost
point.
some might
the
come back.
Overhyped.
Some people that liked it might come back.
Yeah, they might like it. Who like the feel, who like the play
and
style.
If they do an absolutely incredible job with it, another example of.
I mean, if they do that good of a job, I might play it. Just because I'm a looter shooter fan.
Yeah.
But like I'm talking about people who are like.
The thing is, though,
super excited about it.
The thing is, the reason No Man's Sky is pretty successful now, not super successful, obviously, because it's been out for a long time, but like the reason that people still get excited about the expansions is because that game has been improving consistently since the beginning. This
didn't.
It released, and they said, guys, we got this coming in a month. Then they push it back a month. They push it back another month. And then
that's
by the time a year passed, they released
it's like impossible to be a fan of this.
Yeah, it's like I don't trust them because
these are the people who made Mass Effect.
Yes.
Wow. And I bet you there was a lot of hype behind that too. Oh man, they made Mass Effect. People. I know we're done talking about diehard fandoms, but there are people who love Mass Effect and hold it to the highest.
Yes.
And to have that happen to them, they were probably. I mean, not only Mass Effect Andromeda, but then that to happen.
BioWare made Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh really?
Yes.
Wow.
I don't know if you played that.
I didn't play it, but
it's
I've
like
seen a lot
it's
about
super story driven Star Wars RPG. Great dialogue. It was just. I mean, these are people that know how to make story driven games, and they come out with this game that has like basically no story. There was one, but it was like phoned in, just nothing. And so I think that's the problem with overhyping, and plus it's just straight up like dishonest.
Yeah.
To have E3 material that looks incredible and it's just not even in the game. Like, I don't know.
When we talked about overhyped, like the more we talk about, you said it actually made me think about it. You said flying around like Iron Man.
Yeah.
The Marvel game, the Avengers game that came out. That game, part of the overhypedness to me is that like Marvel movies have been so big recently. They're huge. They're like probably one of the top grossing movies around because everybody watches them.
Yeah.
Even people who don't care about comic books watch them. But like everyone's like, they can't mess this up. Avengers is great. Avengers are awesome. Oh, I want to be Hulk and run around and smash things.
Yep.
They made it like this really weird, like loop customizable thing that you do for your heroes, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
What am I doing here? Like,
and it
was almost like a looter.
and unfinished.
It's almost like a looter, but for heroes, and then it's kind of odd, especially if you think in regards to. And this might just be me because I care about like comic books and stuff like that, but like. Thinking about Hulk and upgrading his like fists, it's like, wait, what?
It's weird.
That's an odd concept and a weird. I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like the people who developed the game were, I don't know, just not the right people to do it. Maybe.
I think just the whole. Right I think just the general. It's a live service. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. That's the term that the gaming community uses. Live service, which is where like, you know, we're going to release this game and we're going to continue to be adding stuff to it. Destiny is a live service.
Yeah.
Because they keep adding stuff to it. Seasonal content, that kind of thing. So like, I think just the idea that game is a looter shooter that's a live service was completely stupid.
Yeah. No, yeah. If they wanted to make that, if they wanted to make a live service game, don't make it Marvel then. Don't make it like that.
I think that's what the reviews have reflected too. People are saying
you can't. I mean, it's
like
just a weird way to take
parts of this game are super cool, but like the fact that it's the live service stuff. Mm-hmm. It's the microtransactions that they add so that you can buy the cosmetics. It's weird. The monetization is a big part. The cosmetics, it's a big part of it. And
it won't go away.
That's a lot of the like live service thing though. It's just like we've got to have cosmetics. We've got to throw in content constantly. We've got to nickel and dime everybody, and apparently I've heard that the monetization for that game is pretty egregious, but like, and it's a buggy mess, and that's always seems to be the case with these live services. They release it half done, and
because and people let them because there's the expectation of, oh, we're gonna update it, we're gonna add more stuff. Yep. It's almost like they give themselves an excuse before they let their game out, and then you're just like expected to take it, and it's like.
And that's I know we keep tying it back to things we talked about in the first podcast, but like the problem with the $70 game,
making it $70
is that the games are being released unfinished at $60
already. Yeah.
So why would
I pay for it at $70 if I don't even think it's worth like $40 when it's a $60 game? There's how can you justify? Which makes me scared for any games like that to come out later on. Mm-hmm. Like I would much rather be buy a game like God of War. That was just like the first game that came to mind, but it's like that's the game. Yeah. This is what we have. This is what you play. $60, boom. I don't want them to give me a game with the expectation of things coming out or updating. I want the game. Yeah. And I want you to be in love with the game you made and give it to me, expecting me to say that is worth it. Yeah. Where I don't think they do.
Right.
That's why they give the excuse when they let it out. It'll be better. We'll add stuff.
That's why games like Borderlands are okay with me releasing DLC because the game comes out and when you pay $60, it's got $60 worth of content.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But the problem is, and they come out with DLC later. It's like, hey, you want more content? Well, you pay me a little bit for it. That's fine. But just to come out with a game that's not enough content to justify $60 and then ask me to pay for an expansion?
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
No,
to make the game worth $60, I have to pay $100.
No Man's Sky has not done that. No Man's Sky, you bought it when it came out, however much it was, and every update that's come out since then has been free.
I might try No Man's Sky again.
I think you should. And I have it too, so we can play.
We should try. I should try it because I kind of admire that. If they're not asking for more money and they're just like intentionally they must really care about the game.
Yes,
they did it in a shitty way.
Yeah,
they came out, they lied about stuff, and they got crapped on for it.
Yeah, they did.
So, maybe they took their beatings, and then now they're good and they want to.
I think he's passionate, Sean or whoever, and his whole team. I'm not saying he's the only one, but they're dedicated to their game, and they really did care. They really did want to release the game that everybody wanted. And for some reason, I don't know why, they cut stuff out and released it half done, and it could have been a lot more successful if they've let it cook for a little bit longer.
Yeah, if they did just wait, they would have. They might have a fan base.
Or not overhype it as much.
They might have a fan base now as they're improving stuff, but they definitely lost, like, I would say 70% easily. Yeah, because and like that won't come back too. Yes. That's what I'm saying. That won't come back. Yeah. I might be in that little percentage that might come back, but it's hard to like make it. People come back when you've offered so much and then you fail. When you fail to provide what you said you were going to give, and you give expectations, overhyping. Yeah. Why would I want to come back? Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just, like we keep saying the term slippery slope, but the main thing is just that they need to keep expectations realistic. Mm-hmm. Don't show me promotional stuff that's fake just to get me excited. Mm-hmm. Show me real gameplay, cinematic cutscenes are fine. I'm not saying they're not, but if you're going to show me like in the hub world, the final game had better look like that in the hub world,
which is one of the things that I really liked about God of War. Mm-hmm. I remember when I mentioned God of War so many times, but like, it is a great game. It was exactly what they offered. Yeah. They were like, this is what we got, and that's what you got. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the beginning part was a little different. Like the boss you first fight, like the big troll thing was a little different. Yeah. But like that's because they didn't want to spoil anything. Right. But they showed what they were trying to give out of the game. Yeah. Everyone knew what they were trying to get, or what they were going to get, and they got it. Mm-hmm. So like, yeah, the cinematics are definitely part of overhyping. Yeah. If they lie to you like that, then it's just.
Which cutscenes are fine. I mean, you can.
No, absolutely.
Cutscenes will usually look better than gameplay anyway. So if you want to give me a cool looking cutscene, awesome. You could probably put it in the game too. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But the problem with Anthem was that they showed people flying around. Yeah. Like that's gameplay. Like it should look like that. Mm-hmm. And I don't really know a whole lot about the Avengers game in the lead up to it. I don't know a lot about the hype. Well, but you're going to get hype with it anyway. It's Marvel's Avengers.
No, that's what I was saying. It's a big contributor. Is that like everybody loves Marvel? Yeah. So like you're definitely gonna attract people who aren't even gamers at that point too. So yeah, it definitely lost a lot. Yeah. You know what? This was a long time ago, but a game that like really overhyped for me was like Halo 4. I was such a Halo fan growing up playing Halo, and then
Halo 3 is one of my favorite games of all time.
Halo 2 and Halo 3 are like masterpiece games. Halo 2's story is like one of my loves, and then Halo 3, just the whole game itself together, like multiplayer and single player, great, loved it. Yep. And then and my expectations were there because Halo 2, Halo 3, they've shown what they can do, and they didn't disappoint from Halo 2 to Halo 3. I thought they did improvements. I thought it was great.
So, some people didn't. Yeah, but I've disagreed. I thought, like I said, Halo 3 specifically, is my favorite of the whole series. Mm-hmm.
I thought it was the best, well-rounded, just because it was like I loved playing every aspect of the game. Yeah,
and Halo Reach was super good right before. I didn't like it as much as Halo 3. A lot of people say it's the best Halo that's ever come out. Halo ODST, but Halo Reach, some people say that's the best one that's ever existed. And it just came out on It just came out on Steam, I think, didn't it? Or it doesn't matter. But I think it came out.
And Halo 5 was definitely pumped up a little bit, but I don't think it was as big a disappointment, at least for me personally, as Halo 4 was, because me coming from playing Halo 3 and all the other ones that were better before, and then coming into Halo 4 with the same expectations. Right. I think they took out dual wielding SMGs and stuff like that, and that really made me mad. Yeah, because that was cool. That was a really cool thing to use, and
it was fun.
It was really fun to use. And they put sprinting in the game, which I was happy about, but that was the one mechanic I think I was actually happy about.
I think that was actually in Reach, maybe.
Oh, did they?
I think Reach? Maybe.
I just remember there was that sprinting in it was the one thing that I was like, yes, that's a good change.
Well, yeah, and so part of the hype with Halo 4 was that transition from Bungie, because Bungie moved on to make Destiny basically, and
right to
yeah, and so 343 Industries took over, which was a subset of the Bungie staff, which is fine. So there was a lot of hype about some of it was apprehension, how is this team going to do, as opposed to Bungie, because I'm sure that there was less developers for a smaller team. But then it came out, which I believe our opinions differ a little bit on Halo 4. I'm not going to say Halo 4 is better than the most of the others, but I liked Halo 4. But man,
I did not.
Well,
I still played it.
It was overhyped.
It was like a fandom that I had, so like I played it. I took my beatings and I kept playing it. But then once other games came out, I stopped playing it. Where like Halo 3,
was definitely overhyped.
Was like,
Halo
3 is what I played. Like that's what I did.
And it was overhyped. Yeah. I agree. I mean, Halo 5 was too. I mean, like that was the big one. It was the first one on Xbox One. I remember seeing all the promotional material where like Master Chief is looking one way, and what was the other guy? See, it doesn't seem Spartan Locke. Locke was looking the other way. They were just looking at each other. And you're like, oh man. So I mean, like in that game, Halo 5 sucks. I don't. Come at me, bro. Anybody in the comments, come at me. Halo 5 sucks.
Halo 5's awful.
It's one of the worst stories. They shoehorn a bunch of.
So now they're doing a new Halo, and hopefully they like learned.
I hope so.
If they didn't, I don't even know. I'm not gonna play it.
I don't know. I don't know what. I really don't know.
I don't even know what. I guess they could get worse, but I was gonna say like I don't know how they could get worse, but like they definitely need to go the other way. If it's like, here's the thing though, like with the new game, I'm not expecting Halo 3. But I'm expecting better than Halo 4 and 5.
Right.
If it's better than Halo 4 and 5, like even if it's not even close to Halo 3, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Because they're improving from where they came. But oh my.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't keep going down this road that they're going.
Which I think that kind of like ties into the dedicated fan base thing. Because if a game is so dedicated, if a fan base is so dedicated to a game series, then the next game is just generally going to be hyped. That's just the way it is. And so I think
history behind the game,
right? And I think sometimes developers can get a little bit lazy, particularly with AAA, because they don't have to try, but they like get a little bit lazy on the development. They just don't put enough in there,
because they don't have to. Yeah, they don't think they have to.
Yeah,
but little do they know they are actually losing, people who do.
They're losing dedicated players.
Yep.
Any new big AAA game is going to bring in new players. But at the end of the day, the most important thing for a game series is dedicated fans. And so they're the ones that really keep it going. They're the ones that have the game's true intentions at heart. Anybody can look at like Halo 5 and see the gameplay of it, running around doing these big Hulk smashes on the ground, and be like, man, that's really cool. And then they'll buy the game and they'll play it and they'll beat the campaign. They'll never touch it again. That's fine. They got their $60 purchase out of that guy, but are they sticking around? It's people like dedicated people.
It's people like us that play a little bit too much.
Yeah, maybe.
Too many video games.
Yeah.
Which is a good problem to have.
It's a good problem to have, yeah.
But definitely. It's the people like us who are actually committed to certain games, and we want to put our time into games, that if you piss those people off, dude, you'll get like those first upfront sales, but then
like the my goodness, I'm going to blank on it, but it wasn't Bethesda, it's Blizzard. When I believe it was E3, they announced Diablo.
Are you talking about the phone game?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
When they announced that it was a phone game, talk about a dedicated fan base. Diablo
talk about the disappointment.
And Blizzard people. Blizzard people love their Blizzard games.
Yep. And honestly, I do too. I love Blizzard games.
Yeah,
they do. But they do something sometimes that I'm just like.
Have you ever watched
Hey, anybody who plays Overwatch? Overwatch 2? Why?
Yeah.
Why? Overwatch is like it's this team.
It's that cash money.
It's team based with roles. Why are we making a version 2? If they want to release a campaign, just put it in 1.
Yeah, and maybe
it's like Destiny when they
patch it to give it better visuals or something.
Is it that hard?
I don't know.
Because Overwatch 2 just to me is like, and then Overwatch 2 and Overwatch players can play together, but Overwatch 2 players get more content.
Yeah, that's proof right there that this is lazy. If you're cross play with the first game, like, dude, you
didn't need to make a game.
You did.
Obviously, you did not need to make a new game. If you cross-play with the past people, that makes no sense. That means you could have easily just added a campaign and a little more to the other game, because you already got people paying you for that game, which has cosmetics, which people buy all these loot boxes just to get. So why?
Yeah.
Why are we making people buy?
You remember that really, really cool... I wonder if... Actually, now that considering they can play together, do your skins and stuff transfer from 1 to 2? Mm-hmm. They do. That's so stupid.
So what's the point? You get new skins in 2. Okay, you could have put them in 1.
Yeah. They better really bring something awesome.
I know Bungie didn't want to do Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, but they didn't have to. Like, honestly, they didn't have to.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have had to. Well, and they shouldn't have had
proof that they didn't want to and understood their lack of necessity to make a sequel. Now would be the time for Destiny 3. Mm-hmm. And they released Beyond Light and said, they came right out and they said, listen, we don't need to make Destiny 3.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, they sunset weapons.
After Shadowkeep?
Yeah.
Is that what that? I think after that they would have easily been able to make it.
Actually, Beyond Light would have been the exact roughly same time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I think it's been more recent.
Like, I meant after Shadowkeep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Beyond Light, when that came out, is when the next game, we should have Destiny 3.
Destiny 3 would have been coming out right about now, yeah. But back to Diablo, as die hard as that there is like one team, I don't know. Listen, though, I'll tell you what diehard fan base that you don't mess with. PC. When you tell Diablo fans
they
have to play on their phone. Have you watched the E3 announcement when they said they were like, and you get to play on your phone, and everybody's like
and then somebody's like, hey, can I play on my PC?
Yeah.
No.
Dude, they got so much, and like the developers knew it too. They were like, what are you guys saying, you don't have phones? Like trying to make a joke, and everybody was like, again, it was like crickets. They had an AMA, like people were lining up to ask questions, and somebody was like, I can't remember what he said, but it was like some dude that got in there and he was like, why are you doing this?
I was about to say that. I was like, my first question would be like, why the hell did you do this?
He said, is this some sort of like really late April Fool's joke? And then everybody was like, yeah, like clapping.
As a developer standing on stage, could you imagine the embarrassment?
It was awkward. It was so awkward. You have to watch it. Like I've seen memes about.
I saw the first part. Like,
I've seen
the part
memes
where nobody
about,
says anything.
Yeah, I've seen memes about how like awkward and like it was just awful. It was terrible. The developers looked uncomfortable. They were like stammering.
And yet
there was
like
periods
are still hype about the new one that's coming.
I don't.
The new Diablo.
Well,
have you seen the trailers and stuff for it? There was like a thing for it, and it looks really cool.
Sure,
but like that, I mean, that's just part of like the diehard fandom. Is just, but definitely. That was almost like preying on like the diehard fandom part. Is like putting on the phone. I don't know if it was like more convenient.
They're trying to. I don't think so. I'll tell you what I think it is. They know how much money comes from the mobile, so they're trying to keep dedicated fans and pull in mobile phone fan or mobile game fans and younger audiences and people that don't play games because they want more money.
Yeah, I didn't.
And the thing is, they're going to lose their dedicated fans.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, not all of them, of course. I mean, people still play it. I'm sure it's fine, but like, I just can't imagine the concept of a looter on a phone. Like, how could they possibly have enough content to be a satisfying looter on a phone? I just don't.
I don't even get into phone games. Like, I don't get it
because they're just. Maybe they're just worse.
Yeah, they just are. Yeah,
even, they look worse.
Any game that has to be catered to a phone, like that works on a phone, is not fun to me.
Well, I mean, it might be fun, but it's not like.
I said to me.
Okay, well, I mean, what I'm saying that like, I might find it fun for like 15 minutes.
Okay,
but I don't go to my phone to play. I don't go to my phone to play Elder Scrolls, like which, by the way, there's an Elder Scrolls phone game too.
What?
Yes.
What's it called?
Blades, Elder Scrolls Blades. They were like, it's a full Elder Scrolls game on your phone, and it was.
It's like those people who get like. Have you ever seen those things on Amazon that put like a controller on the bottom of your phone? You're just sitting here like this.
You like slot your phone into
Yeah. Those are the people that do that. That play
apparently,
like the Elder Scrolls.
How is so stupid? Like who?
Also, what is the frame rate on your phone?
Well, I mean, you've got like 120 now.
I know the refresh rate on this is good, but how good can they make a game?
Oh, I don't know.
Like how well? Can
you're saying how well can the game run?
Yeah. Oh. How well can they optimize a game to actually work on the phone at a high frame rate? That's
they stripped down the I almost said vocals. They stripped down the like graphics and stuff. Excuse me, so much that
so it either looks shitty or works okay.
Yeah, that's the call you have to make. I mean, phones are getting more powerful,
but like so are games,
right?
So if you're trying to keep up, you're losing.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, which is weird because that's a diehard fandom too. Of phone games, like there are phone games. Like I would say Clash of Clans.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are people who don't play games all the time. Like gamer, I feel weird saying that, but like gamers, like like I had a friend in high school who played it. He didn't play much of anything, like Xbox every once in a while.
Mm.
But he was crazy into Clash of Clans.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
I didn't play it. I played it like once.
I played it one time and then like
People
I
still
got made
play it.
fun of because like my whatever was so low level and I was like, dude, I don't touch this.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm a bigger loser like for not doing it or
Like,
if you're a huge bigger loser.
I tell you what, you're too far behind. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's not for me. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm there too. I mean, but I don't know. What would you say, like, what would you call your, like, fandom? Like, what fandom are you most into, honestly?
I mean, it'd have to be Borderlands. I mean, I've talked about it a lot, but, like, I've been involved in Borderlands for so long, and I've put so much time into those games that it's kind of ridiculous at this point. Yeah. Which is why I think Destiny appeals to me so much. And if you make a decent looter, I'm going to play it. So, Anthem, you need to step it up. But let's
get that 2.0.
Like a good looter is very appealing to me just because like I've been involved with Borderlands for so long that it's just my game style. Yeah. And I love the grinding. I actually get something out of playing the game at Fortnite. Yeah. And I should just say at Battle Royales. Yeah. Because I don't get anything out of it. But yeah, I would say Borderlands. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that like I've been crazy about. Most of it has been like, I wouldn't say a trend of game, but like a trend to me. Mm-hmm. Like I like the game and then I'm like, right, which is Pokemon to me. I love Pokemon. I like care about Pokemon's well-being from afar.
Yeah, I hear you there.
Like, at some points I haven't played the game, but like I still care about it.
Yeah, yeah.
I still I like Minecraft's the same way with me. I used to love Minecraft. I've stopped playing it for a while. Like we're doing a playthrough now, but like I care about the game from afar. Yeah, I like Minecraft a lot. Mm-hmm. But I would say if the only fandom I've ever been a part of is Borderlands. So, what about you?
I mean, if you'd asked me in like high school, I would have said Halo probably.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, if you go back.
Yeah, in time. but like right now, honestly, I mean, it's probably kind of weird. I mean, Destiny is obviously one that I've been sticking around with for a long time. Mm-hmm. But games that I've gone like kind of strangely obsessive over, it's probably a couple. Professor Layton series, a series of puzzle games on the DS.
You talked about that game and I have no idea what the heck.
It's like you play as this English Yep. Sounds good. You play as this like English professor mm-hmm. and his like English this little boy that follows him around. And they solve puzzles to solve everyone's problems. Yeah, don't stay awake. Stay awake. And then Phoenix Wright series is this series of people say it's like a visual novel just because there's a lot of text. But like you play as a defense attorney.
Oh, that's the one that you downloaded the Japanese version.
Yeah, the reason I'm including this on the list, there's a lot of these games and they're Japanese games. Capcom, I think. You play as
not be that bad games. I like Capcom games.
Yeah, yeah. You play as this defense attorney and you try to get people from murderers or something, try to get them, or not the murderers defended. You defend, the victim's family or whatever, something like that, to try to get a, bad dude in jail. And there's like, it's a courtroom and you got to accuse people and like read their testimonies and find it. You got to read their testimony and find flaws and stuff. Anyway, but the reason I would say that it's one of my most dedicated fandoms is because there was one game that was a sequel to one of the spin-off games that was only available in Japan. Everybody said it was really good. So I bought like a 3DS ROM cartridge to put an SD card in and like put the Japanese version on there. And then
was it good?
Got a fan translation in English and it was really good. If you know ProZD on YouTube, ProZD.
I think so, actually, yeah.
He was one of the voices in the game.
Oh, yeah. Flack.
He
plays
Flack
3,
on Borderlands 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the voices on the game.
Borderlands 3 characters.
He's Edgeworth's father in the game. He's a pretty important character. But yeah, I probably ran a long time. Go play Phoenix Wright. Go play Professor Layton if you're into either of those.
Go play all Borderlands. All of them.
Yeah.
You can be upset about the pre-sequel.
We need to talk about favorite games at some point, but I feel like we need to dedicate more time to that.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Because I could go on and on about.
Yeah.
Because we get like our kind of like the area that we both like.
Yeah.
But specifically favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
Would be interesting.
Yeah.
Also, probably not super popular. I don't know. Like kind of popular, but not as like a favorite game of all time, I guess.
Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, I would say mine. We'll talk about it some other time, I'm sure, but mine would probably be Stardew Valley, which is a popular indie game. But
yeah, it's a popular game that people play, but like as a favorite game of all time.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that, but I don't know. You want to?
Said yours, I'll say mine.
Well, huh?
You said yours, so I'll say mine.
I thought you did.
No, I didn't.
Okay, go ahead.
Borderlands 2.
I thought that's literally what I thought you said.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
Borderlands 2.
Maybe I just knew
Favorite
it
game of
and
all-
I just
Yeah,
thought
you
you
did.
said it. I know what his favorite game is.
Yeah.
We've talked many times about this.
we have.
Okay, yeah, no, yeah.
Which is, I mean, popular game. Probably not super popular.
Right, probably like,
everybody's
as
favorite
far
game
as
of all
like
time,
number
but
one
like,
game.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
Wait,
probably-
we do need to say now. We said this in the last podcast, but we need to say it in this one too. If you want to ask us anything or, us to talk about something in general,
Yep.
Just put it in the comments and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the next.
Yeah, we'll start podcasts
Yep.
answering questions if people have them, or maybe we'll find some really funny comments. We might just be able to highlight them.
Let's
But
make some shout outs. Yeah.
so what about your game of the week?
My game of the week. I don't even remember what I put. Oh wait, no, I do. Ashes of Creation, because I really want to do play that MMO. I want to get involved in an MMO early.
Yeah.
Because that's why I've said this last time, but like that's why I won't play WoW.
Yeah.
Or even Final Fantasy. Is it
14?
14? Yeah, 14.
Barrier of entry.
But like I just can't
Yeah.
get into
I
it.
mean-
So like I really want to get into Ashes Creation early. And try to get involved with community while it's young, so that I can be like part of the growth in it.
Yeah, and it looks really cool.
It does look really cool.
I hope we can start seeing more material from them.
And also, I'm just gonna throw out some like shade about it, but like their website is ultra confusing.
Yeah.
Like you want to buy the game, I'm like, I want to buy the game, and it takes you to this other website, which is like I think their like launcher
Yeah.
is what it is, but it's like their own launcher, not somebody else's.
Right.
So it looks really shady.
Yeah, it
and then
kinda
it's
does,
like
not
it
gonna lie.
just shows you all the stuff you can buy. It doesn't talk anything about when the betas are. Like when like
there's no time
Yeah, there's
frames at
no
all.
time frames at all, and all the time frames I've looked up online have already passed.
Oh,
so
really?
it almost looks like the game should be out by now.
Was it
but
like I
don't
wonder
know.
if it was like Kickstarter or something, and they're
Maybe.
I don't know.
What's yours?
I would say mine is Phasmophobia.
We said we were gonna do it.
We need to.
Yeah, we're
I've
gonna play that
I've seen
together,
some
yeah.
Twitch streams of
is
it. For the if anybody doesn't know, it's like a old school horror movie where people are going into houses with like EMF readers and stuff, like trying to find a ghost, and like you try to find weird signals and stuff, and you can take in like crucifixes and
I think and there are multiple parts about it that
I
are
think
kind of cool. It's like
I think you're
scary
trying
game.
to it's co-op.
Yeah, that's cool. Like,
And,
and not a whole lot of games have done that successfully. I will say.
And you're like you're trying to find out. At least I think you're trying to find out what kind of ghost it is. There's like poltergeist and like all these different types of ghosts, and so each of those different ghosts has certain signals that like one might use EMF, one might use something else. Have different ways that you can identify them. And so you're trying to identify what type of ghost it is, and then you like head out, and it's you and your friends, and one person's like in the van, like watching the cameras and stuff, and everybody else is in the house, like trying to find stuff. But it seems pretty cool.
I also feel like it's a little different because it's less about the jump scares. Like it's not all about jump scares, which is sometimes when you play scary games, that's pretty much what it boils down to. It's just about scaring the crap out of you.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like
But
a
there's
lot
little,
of that.
There's a little bit
It's
more
more
to
suspenseful.
it. Right, it is.
Yeah.
And it's also cool to me that they've made a game that is simultaneously good on computer and for VR.
Yeah.
That like it works both.
Yeah.
And that's really cool
I
to
actually
me.
didn't even know it was VR.
You didn't?
No.
No, dude, I've watched VR
That's
streams.
cool.
It is so cool.
That
It's
is
so
cool.
cool. Adds to
Okay.
the effect. All right.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Guess what?
I guess we just
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you.
Bye.
Bye. I don't know, dude.
Our outros are great. You know that?